So hello Clara, it's lovely to meet you here at the NXP stand. We've seen a lot of new automotive chips and a lot of new automotive technology coming out of NXP, and here you've got some new exciting stuff around the battery management system, which is essential for these electric vehicles. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, indeed, Stuart. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to talk to you today. So here we have the high voltage battery management system that is demonstrated, and it consists of all the great goodies from NXP. So we have the cell monitoring units with the analog front end that is able to very accurately and precisely measure the state of health of the battery, to measure the state of charge of the battery so that we can do optimal load balancing in the battery. We also have the battery management unit that is able to get all that information and do the basic calculations for the battery management. The battery junction box, which is making sure that the battery is safe. And finally, we have the gold box, which is our internal routing mechanism that is using all of the information from the car and send it to the cloud. And in the cloud, we will have a partnership with Elektor Vehicles, which is a company that we work together with to make sure that we optimize the battery. But this is the question we might have is, why is battery management so important, right?
Yeah, of course.
In electric vehicles, the battery is the most expensive part, and if you drive an electric car, you start thinking, people start to get range anxiety, they get worried, when can I charge, when can I discharge? So the optimal use of the battery, the more efficient we can use the battery, the easier the life is for the electric vehicle customers. But actually is the more efficient use of the energy, and energy usage and optimizing energy usage as a very important topic.
Now, as you said, obviously the electric battery is our energy source for the vehicle.
Yes.
Why are we using the cloud, and what is the cloud offering us in terms of extending the life of the battery?
Yes.
Why don't we just do all of that stuff in the vehicle itself?
In the vehicle. So the batteries are based on chemistry, and chemistry is still something that we cannot predict to the last moment. So the computation that we require to be able to predict what's happening with the battery, to be able to understand when is degradation, when are we getting into a danger zone, those computations, they require quite a lot. So we cannot pack all of this computation into the car. So the cloud is basically our extended intelligence, it's our extended computation power that we can get. So what we have implemented with our partner, Elektor Vehicles has implemented in the cloud is a digital twin model of the battery. And this digital twin model is based on AI, but it's also based on the physical chemistry model of the battery. So it's combining the best of what we know about models and what we can get from AI. Of course, all of these computations take some time, and the digital twin is running at real time and is getting the information from every car, is getting the information from different parts, different cars, different models. So it's really optimizing and getting all the best knowledge of that. In the car, you have a more simple model that is running at real time, but it's based on the cloud. So if the cloud updates the model with new knowledge, with new use cases, with new corner cases, it's able to transfer that information to the car back, and then the car can always be working at the optimal moments or at the optimal according to the model in the cloud. So that's the combination, and that's, I think, what makes it very powerful. It's not everything in the cloud, it's not everything in the edge. It's the working together of the cloud and the edge, taking the best of the two worlds.
Now, we know that the batteries in the car are obviously very expensive, and they're not used completely to the end of their life in an electric vehicle, are they? So there's a lot of discussion about second life. Can I reuse those batteries, recycle them essentially in new applications? Does having that data in the cloud and this sort of system make that second use role easier?
Yeah, it will definitely help us, because when you take a battery and you want to give it a second use, which is very common now, that you can put it in racks for an industry or for your home to be able to store the energy, renewable energy generated from your solar panels, for example. You want to know, this battery is a second life, but what kind of first life did it have?
Yeah.
Because the first life sometimes determines actually the second life. And having a way of storing that in a secure way and really having all that information helps you a lot. It also helps you to basically being able to negotiate the price of your second life battery. So if my battery was treated very nicely in the car, very smooth and gentle, then it will have much more value for the second life. And we are also working on some new concepts, like for example the battery passport, where you make sure that you are storing that information securely and that basically you can, when you sell your battery, the end user has a confirmation of, okay, this battery, this is the use it has been given. And depending on the type of the second life, that might be acceptable or not, and you can basically range your batteries for your for the second use.
It's interesting you bring up the point about the battery passport. Is that an initiative that's being driven at government level, or where does that come from?
It's a concept that we of course want to have, because I think it's important to ensure the part, and at this moment there are several initiatives happening. Of course, for the government this is something that needs to be standardized, and there are many technologies that we could be using for this battery passport, and to the best of my knowledge right now there is nothing, let's say, okay, this is how we are going to do it yet.
So a work in progress.
It's work in progress, yeah.
Now, one of the other things we see in the electric vehicle space is obviously the batteries. If we can get the voltages up higher, we have less current flowing through copper, and then the cables are smaller, and that aspect of it. So
there will be less heating. You will be able to fast charge. So going up in the voltage is definitely a trend. So right now we have a reference design, high voltage reference design for 400 volts. We have all the hardware, we have the basic software, we even have some safety libraries, so really give our customers a head start with the safety libraries that are available. We are working towards the 800 volt, and of course if we look at the future we see the 1200 volt also coming up. So it's definitely something we are looking into and investigating. You see that there are also different models there, different way of working with parallel serial working of the different batteries online, and all very interesting future topics.
Super. Well, thank you ever so much for all of the insights in the development of the power system behind the electric vehicles, and we'll be looking to see how that develops over the next few shows.
Great, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.